Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Today, we're diving into one of those emotional time bombs that Oda loves to plant. Just imagine Koby, our once timid cabin boy, turned proud marine hero, standing before Luffy with the shocking news that the captain's grandfather, the legendary monkey D. Garp, threw himself into the abyss to save him. That's what's about to happen, and that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, let's set the stage real quick so we don't miss the basics. Back in chapter 1088, Garp bursts into Hachinosu like a hurricane of chaotic justice, punching Blackbeard's pirates left and right to clear a path for Koby and the others to escape. He shouts, "Get out of here, you brats!" while holding the line alone, and then boom. The silence that follows is that kind Oda uses to leave us biting our nails. It's not a confirmed death. Oda's the king of twists. Remember Pell falling from the sky? But it's a thunderous sacrifice, echoing who Garp has always been. A titan who smashes moral walls to protect the weak, even if it means crashing into the very system he swore to defend. And Koby? Oh, Koby, the crybaby who used to mop the Going Merry's deck, now carries the weight of a life debt as a Marine captain. He saw Garp become a living shield, and that memory won't fade. Now imagine how this hits Luffy, the guy who laughs in the face of death but cries rivers when Ace falls or when Sabo vanishes over the horizon. How does he process a loss like that? From the grandfather who used to throw him off cliffs to toughen him up. I picture the scene unfolding in one of those epic reunions Oda loves to choreograph, like Sabaody or Wano, but rawer, more post-Egghead in tone. The Straw Hats have just left Egghead, with the whole world in flames after Vegapunk's revelations. Immortality, the Void Century, the full package. They're at sea, the Thousand Sunny slicing through the waves as if nothing has changed. But Luffy can feel something's off. He's up in the crow's nest, chewing on a hunk of meat Sanji swore was the best post-apocalypse meal ever when a Den Den Mushi rings, the Marine signal. But it's not an arrest call, it's for Koby, the pink-haired, golden boy, eyes marked with scars that go beyond the physical, calls to share the burden. Luffy, Garp, he, and then his voice cracks, because even heroes choke up. At first, Luffy would freeze, that silly grin still plastered on his face, like, the old man, he's fine, right? He's Garp, the guy who eats cannonballs for breakfast. Because let's face it, Luffy doesn't take in tragedy all at once. He's the human rubber band, stretching pain until it becomes motivation. But Koby, stubborn as ever, lays out the details. Garp's fist shattering the air against Kuzan, the blue jam, freezing the chaos, and that final look, the one that says, "Run, kid, become what I never could." That's when the rubber snaps. I see Luffy dropping his meat, a cardinal sin for his bottomless stomach. Eyes wide, not with anger, but with childlike confusion that borders on panic. He sacrificed himself to save you? The old man. Why? And that why isn't rhetorical. For Luffy, who sees the world in black and white freedom, a Marine sacrificing himself for someone like Koby, a potential ally of pirates, is a knot he can't untangle easily. Based on what we've seen in the manga so far, like in chapter 1054 with the clash at Amazon Lily, or the flashback of Garp training Dragon, we know their bond is made of twisted iron. Garp isn't just a grandfather, he's the warped mirror of what Luffy could have been, a Marine dog biting his own leash. When Ace died, Luffy fell into a pit of silent fury, a beast Jim B had to restrain. Here, with Garp, it'd be similar, but with a twist of reluctant gratitude. Because Koby isn't an enemy. He's the echo of pre-pirate Luffy, the what-if that drifted toward the blue side of justice. So, the initial reaction? Deafening silence aboard the ship. Zoro stops sharpening his blade, Nami freezes mid-map, and everyone feels the captain bending inward. Then Luffy bursts. Not into tears, not yet, but into a raspy, forced laugh that slices the air like misfired conqueror's hockey. Ha 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 ha! The old man, always playing the dumb hero. Saving you, Koby! You can barely fire a bullet without shaking. But that's not mockery. It's Luffy's shield against the void. In the current manga, with the post-1080 arcs showing him dealing with Bonnie and others' deaths, we've seen how he turns grief into fuel. He jumps straight from the crow's nest, ignoring Frankie yelling, "Hey, Captain! The sea's rough!" and hop into a makeshift boat, probably the mini Mary Usopp keeps for emergencies, heading straight for Koby's signal. Because for Luffy, bad news isn't something you wait out, it's something you punch or hug away. Arriving at Koby's temporary base, maybe a neutral island Helmeppo arranged through shady contacts, the reunion would be pure Oda cinema. Koby standing tall, uniform wrinkled, eyes red but steady, and Luffy stepping ashore with his straw hat tilted as if the world hadn't cracked. Show me, Koby. Show me what happened to Gramps. And Koby, swallowing hard, would unfold a report, or worse, a torn Beaver card left behind by Garp. Because yeah, Oda loves those poetic symbols. As Koby tells the story, I imagine Luffy's emotions swinging like wild tides. First, denial. Nah, he's alive. Garp, the guy who shot me out of a cannon, he laughs at death. Remember chapter 431 when Luffy thought Zoro was dead and freaked out? Now amplify that, because Garp's family by blood, not choice. Then comes the rage, bubbling like an overloaded gear second, fists cracking the floor, haki leaking out uncontrollably, making Koby's rookie Marines faint in rows. Those Blackbeard bastards, they dared touch my grandfather? But it's not blind revenge, it's Luffy recognizing the pattern. Whitebeard fell for loyalty, Ace for pride, and now Garp for a boy he once trained. Koby would try to calm him. Luffy, he chose this, for me, for all of us. And that's when it clicks. Luffy realizing the sacrifice wasn't just for him, but for the dream Garp planted in Koby. The same dream that echoes his own. And that's where the manga gives us perfect clues to imagine Luffy's heart. In the latest chapters, like 1100 and beyond, as Luffy confronts Imu and the shadows of the past, we see him maturing through pain, not hardening, but expanding. He cries for the whole world now, not just his friends. So I picture him dropping to his knees, not dramatic like Marineford, but quiet, his hat shading his eyes as tears hit the ground. Gramps, you idiot, why didn't you let me save you this time? Because Garp was always the loving antagonist, the one who forced Luffy to grow stronger, but never asked to be saved. And Koby, watching that, would break too. Two crybabies from different eras, a pirate and a marine, united in grief for the man who blurred both flags. And the hug? Oh, it'd be one of those time-stopping Oda moments. Luffy pulling Koby in like he's holding the last piece of Garp, whispering, "Thanks for telling me, and I'm sorry, partner." But Luffy doesn't stay in the pit. He's the kind of guy who turns ashes into fireworks. Based on what happened after Ace's death, when he came back fiercer at Fishman Island, here, he'd channel all that pain into the big picture. Koby, you became the hero Gramps saw in you. Now go, break that rotten system from the inside. Me, I'll break it from the outside. Together, we'll make the world big enough for Garp to laugh from wherever he is. That would be the turning point. Luffy realizing that his grandfather's sacrifice isn't an ending, but a bridge between pirates and marines, between the old world and the new. And Koby, inspired, would vow to redouble his efforts in the reformed marines, maybe even bending more rules to follow Garp's ideal. Now, let's dig into the layers Oda always buries. Think of the symbolism. Garp, with his galactic punch, represents the brute strength Luffy inherited, but tempered by the soft heart his grandson amplifies. In chapter 1081, when Garp laughs in the middle of battle, it's the same laugh Luffy gives in chaos, an inherited defiance of seriousness. So, Luffy's reaction would include involuntary flashbacks, those dreamlike panels Oda loves to draw, reliving mountain training, Garp shouting, "You're weak, boy," while tossing him into the sea, but with the unspoken message of be free but strong. It would hit Luffy like a wave of pride, mixed with guilt. Guilt for not being there, for putting the One Piece above family. But hey, Luffy's not one for self-pity. He'd laugh through the memories. Ha! The old man hated me so much he saved my rival just to piss me off later. And what about the crew's reaction? Because nothing in One Piece is ever solo. It's a chorus. Zoro would respect the silence, sharpening his swords with a nod that says, "Revenge is ours, Captain." Nami, ever practical, would chart routes toward Blackbeard's territory, muttering, "For Garp, and for the money he owes me." Usopp would spin an epic tale about Garp faking his death to test his grandsons, just to lighten the mood. Sanji would light a cigarette and prepare a banquet in honor of the most stubborn bear at sea. Chopper would cry openly, treating invisible wounds with trembling hooves. Frankie would upgrade the Sunny with new Garp edition cannons. Brooke would crack a calm old bones joke, and Jinbe, wise as ever, would recall Ace to anchor Luffy, "Pain forges kings, Monkey Dono." Even Robin, with her scholar's calm, would flip through notes on myths of sacrifice, whispering, "He lives in the stories we tell." Back to the reunion. After the tears, Luffy would stand up with that spark in his eyes, the same one he had after Marineford, but sharper now, honed by Egghead's maturity. He'd challenge Koby to a friendly spar, their fists colliding like thunder, laughing, "Show Gramps you learned well." It'd be pure catharsis, sweat mixing with tears, Luffy's haki dancing with Koby's resolve, proving that the sacrifice planted seeds. And in the end, as the sun sets behind clouds, shaped like fists, Luffy would say something simple, no fluff, "Thanks, Koby, for Gramps, and for reminding me that family doesn't wear uniforms." Koby would nod, his heart lighter for the first time since Hachinosu, and the two would part ways, one toward the free seas, the other toward the broken seas of law. But what about the aftershock? How does it ripple through the larger arc? The current manga, with the climax at Elbaf approaching and Blackbeard hunting down devil fruits, suggests this news would be the spark that sharpens Luffy's aim at the Yonko. He'd accelerate his hunt for the One Piece, not out of haste, but urgency. I gotta reach it before more idiots throw their lives away for me. That would echo Vegapunk's theme in the chapters past 1110. The world is dying, and heroes like Garp are the last pillars. Luffy's response? Becoming the counterbalance, not a savior, but a liberator. And Koby? He'd rise through the marine ranks like a rocket, using Garp's legacy to question the Buster Call itself, maybe even forming secret alliances with the Straw Hats in future crises. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.